about personal miracles. The Bible tells about 9 spiritual gifts: word of wisdom, knowledge, faith, healing, miracles, prophecy, discernment of spirit, tongues, and understanding of what is being said in tongues. I want to talk about the gift of miracles and Paul. Paul did lots of miracles. For example, he healed lame man because he saw that he had faith to be healed. And he shared the gospel through God's power and his spiritual gifts. He did many healings from sicknesses and deliverances. I already said the kind of gifts, miracles, and healed gifts. Miracle and healings are included in these spiritual gifts. He got miracles and healings from God. And God gave mighty power to Paul, and he obeyed and followed him. He shared the gospel with God's power and his comments, and he had unusual gifts. That is, to bring someone back from the dead. I want you to listen to this verse. Acts chapter 20, verse 7 to 12. Still in a window was a young man named Eutychus, who was sinking into a deep sleep as Paul talked on and on. When he was sound asleep, he fell to the ground from the 3rd story and was picked up dead. Paul went down, threw himself on the young man, and put his arms around him. "Don't be alarmed," he said, "he's alive." Then he went upstairs and broke bread and ate. These spiritual gifts do not belong to a person or a human or Satan. They belong to God. I want to tell you about a miracle story. In Vietnam, one woman missionary had a little soup kitchen. He thought there would be very few children, and she made very little food. However, there was hundreds of hungry children. Seems to be very little foods for children. And she thought every children can't eat their food. But it wasn't. Every children ate the food, and every children ate food. Like Jesus' miracle. Matthew chapter 14, 16 to 21 said, Jesus replied, "They do not need to go away. You give them something to eat." "We have here only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, they answered. "Bring them here to me," he said. And he directed 2 people to sit down on the grass, taking the 5 loaves and the 2 fish, and looking up to heaven, and gave thanks and broke the loaves. Then he gave them to the disciples, and disciples gave them to the people. They all ate and were satisfied, and they picked up 12 basketfuls of broken pieces that were left over. I want to tell you more about Jesus' miracle. When Jesus came to Peter's house, he saw Peter's mother-in-law lying in bed with fever, and he touched her hand, and the fever left her. And she got up and began to wait on him. And verse 17 said, many who were demon-possessed were brought to him. Jesus healed them, and he gave power to his disciples. And he called his 12 disciples to him and gave them authority to drive out evil spirit and to heal every disease and sickness. God gave His power to missionary like Paul, and many missionaries trying to preach the gospel. This is all my presentation. Thank you for listening.